I just done a great voiceover to start this video off and then realised the mic wasn't recording. Let's try again. So, hello all and welcome to round 1 of the Junior Super Lightweight Southern Championships of Club 100. In this one there is an A, B and a C final. It's a different format to the Northern Championships, and that means an A, B, C practice, qualifying and pre-final group also. Oscar is going to be winning some silverware in this one. I won't say where he earns that, but the goal of course is to reach the A final. So one objective is already completed. Grab yourself a cup of tea, kick back, put your feet up, relax and enjoy.
To the left, nice. That's it.
I'm only going to show a couple of highlights of this test session. As you can see there, Oscar's still on cold tyres at the moment, so lacking a bit of grip. He's now just coming up the hill, up towards Christmas Corner, behind the last few people that came out the pits. I'll let this play out and show just a couple more highlights of the test session. But Oscar come out the pits absolutely flying. Don't know what it was on this day, but he seemed to have something between his teeth and he was absolutely determined, as you can see now, to just get past everybody and put down the fastest possible times he could. The yellow flag prevents us from completing that overtake, but check out the eyeballs on that helmet ahead. Had we not been passing the back marker, then I think we might possibly have been able to pass Oscar on the hill up into Christmas corner. As it was, we've lost a position there to Matteo, and I'm probably going to butcher your name, but I believe it's Matteo Ehrenfruchter. Anyway, Matteo is standing P9 in the championships after this round, and as you can see just there, he passed Oscar ahead quite easily. He's one of the top talents, so it's certainly no shame to have him pass us as he just did there. We're just coming around now towards the last lap. I don't think anything else changed. I'll just let this last bit play out, and then I'll bring up the timing sheets for the end of this session. I think a little bit too much curb there from Oscar ahead. Been watching too many Brad Philpott videos, but this seems to unsettle his kart. He comes across into the right turn just here, overshoots, goes off onto the runoff, and that gives us an easy pass. So we are the fastest Oscar of the test session at least. Well, that was a solid start from Oscar, and it sees us in P15 of 26 drivers. I think that's a very good start to the day. We preferably would rather be in the top 13, in the top 50%. That, after all, is the aim, so that we can potentially make the A final later on. But we're going in the right direction. This is probably the best test session we've had to date in terms of the highest finishing position for the first race of the day. We've got practice coming on next. If we can maybe get into the top 10 then it should be looking good for qualification after that to make the A finals. Fingers crossed. Let's see how it goes.
Thank you. Oh, that was looking really good. No idea what the times are because I can't find it on the sheets, so I have to have a search. Really good stuff. Testing session 1. Oscar finished 1.499 seconds off the leader, Jack Berman. Really good start. The way he was absolutely flying past people out there. Loads of overtakes done, and I think that's definitely a better start, isn't it, than to this round last year. So looking really good. And the guy in the shorts, the one who's always in the pit lane, he's told us not to worry at all about the times because they're brand new tyres on all the karts, so they're all performing a little bit differently out there in terms of top speed. Oscar's average speed was a little bit down on the people around him, but the way he was flying past people, the actual track, if you know what I mean, the overtaking and everything was brilliant. So really good start. We're looking forward to test session number 2 now.
But unbeknownst to us, there was only one test session. In the north, as we witnessed at Silverstone, there were 2 sessions, and we believed it'd be the same here in the south, but unfortunately it's only the one.
Right, we're just getting ready now then to go out for the practice session before the main event. There's only one test session in the south. The camera is wibbly wobbly, but the what's it called? It will sort that out for the video. Yep. Lovely weather as well, so it's looking good. Oscar's confident, had a brilliant test session, a lot of overtakes, so I think we're going to be doing a bit better than we did here last year. Difficult to compare with there being 3 finals for this time, but that's what we can do at the end of the day. Ready for this? Okay, so this is practice session before the main event. I'm going to run up there and see if I can get myself a filming spot. I'm going to have to fight through people, I think. Okay, have a good one. Keep the inside tight, yeah?
Okay, so looking for junior driver Eden Delaney, right. Number 164, Eden.
We know from this practice session we need to get as close as we can towards the sort of top 8 position. We finished P15 in the testing, so the goal now really should be about a P12, P11 or better, which shows that we're going in the right direction. After this is qualifying of 26 drivers. Really we're going to need to be around about a top 8 to make it through in the top 33% overall into the A final. So a top 12 finish, top 11 finish here shows that we're going in the right direction.
Right, good luck. Okay, cheers. Right, we're just about to come out now for practice session before the main event. Oscar's starting this one in P6. Sorry, P1 normally. There it is. No pressure. Here we go.
Well, I say no pressure, and that's easy for me to say stood trackside watching on. But as you can see now, Oscar's about to lead out a train for quite a few laps. So, of course, there's pressure. He's out there purely to get fast times because we want to work on the qualification times. But at the same time, it'll be on his mind here to try and defend. Now, if you look back further down the pack, I believe P5 now in the red with the white helmet is Matteo Ehrenfruchter again. And as you're going to see, he's going to start working his way up the pack and closing the gap on Oscar. So as I said in the testing, it's no shame at all being overtaken by him. He's doing it to everybody. He's up to P4 now to P3. And it won't be long before he's on the back of Oscar, as you're about to see coming round here. So if I play it from now. Yeah, there's a good solid lap there from Oscar. He held on to Matteo well. Matteo maybe gained a couple of feet on him over the whole lap. But what harmed Oscar most was going on to the runoff coming out of the final chicane. But this is good. This is good. This is really helping with the confidence. And it's feeling a lot more positive now that we're going to be in with a shout of the A final. Fingers crossed. I'm trackside there saying that Oscar's leaving too much space on the inside, as that was an easy pass there for Ed Azevedo. But Oscar's not defending, he's just following the racing lines and trying to get some rapid times in. It'd be nice to think we could hang on to the back of Edgar here. We know he's absolutely rapid. In this session, he sets the second fastest time, but he's already gone. The first time we heard of Edgar was on the Team Sport Leicester fastest time sheets. He got one of the top 10 fastest all-time laps there at the time, a couple of years ago. And then we went to Daytona Tamworth for an academy day, which was Oscar's very first taste of outdoor karting in the juniors. Were they Sodi? I think the junior Sodi karts. They were awful. Not that we knew that at the time. And Edgar was gone. He was moving at about 2 seconds a lap faster than us on that day. And yeah, we were amazed by how fast he was. So it's a good chance to see now, you know, how we compare to him in karts that are a lot more even. Not that we're saying he had a faster kart than us that day, we don't know, but we knew from last season we got to learn very well about that kart fleet. So anybody looking at Daytona Tamworth, I think you'll be okay now. Since we raised it, they've called us, apologised, and got rid of that fleet. But yeah, it's good to be on track with people like Edgar, who you know are some of the best in the country, and to be able to test yourself against them. Watch the inside now, he's going to go for it. Yeah, as you'll have just heard me say, Oscar drifted out a little bit wide there, lost some traction, and it costs him on top end speed down this section. Allows Ledger Demetriou, probably another name I've just butchered, but allows him to just drive straight past us. After this point, not a lot really happens. We'll skip forward 2 more laps as Oscar just has a little attempt. Just coming up now to try and get that position back through the chicane. But yeah, yeah, that's all she wrote. And that's the end of the practice session. There's another lap or so to go, but as I said, absolutely nothing happens. So let's bring this one to an end. After a bit of lawn mowing.
Okay, cheers. Still filming, yep. P10, you're moving up, and I think we're on the brink of the A and the B final somewhere with that. What's that out? Making a mess. Yes, that's a really good start. Are you happy with that? Awesome, really good stuff. And I think you were just under 1 second off the leader. Ty Sherlock, whatever his name is. Awesome stuff, dude.
So there you go, I've butchered another name. It's Ty Sherlock. Almost got it right. Yeah, that session looked a bit slower, as being as a few people managed to get past Oscar, but we've got to remember them as some of the fastest people on track. But we look at the time sheet here. Oscar finished 0.908 off Ty Sherlock in P1. In the last session, it was 1.499, so he's made up 0.6 of a second on the top person, and that gives us a brilliant P10 finish. We're right on the cusp now of a chance to get into the A finals. We've just got to make one more improvement now in the qualifying session. Bring it on. So, yeah, a quick recap after the that practice session just. Oscar finished P10, 1 second off the leader. I think that's really good. How are you feeling? Alright. Hey? Alright. Alright, yeah. He's feeling alright. P10 out of 27. So we're somewhere near the beginning of the B final based on just basic positioning. We're not going to know until the other two groups are done in quali and when we finish in quali, obviously. But it's looking promising. If Oscar can find another couple of tenths, there's a chance of the A final. But at the minute we're on course for the B final, potentially the top third of the B final, I'd imagine. And if we are nearish the front in the B final, the opportunity to get a trophy, that'd be amazing. But yeah, looking really good. So, come on, 1 second off the leader. That's better than last year, isn't it? So it's an improvement. Yeah, we're doing really good. We're just getting ready now to go out for the qualifier. Looking at the practice session so far, we're running somewhere probably in the first half of the B pack, B final. Oscar's group B were a little bit slower in the last session than Group A and Group C. So he would have finished P14 in Group A and P17 in Group C. But as it was, he got P10 in Group B. So yeah, somewhere in about the first half, I'd imagine, on the if we have a qualifying times, then somewhere in about the first half of the B final. So how he does. All comes down to this. Nothing yet counts. So because both boys were inseparable in the practice session just, we've had a chat with Ledger in kart 13 behind us, and we've agreed that we're going to work together with him and try and push each other on, hopefully quick enough to make the A final. For some reason, Ledger decided to pass us there on the yellow, but we feel that's going to work in our favour anyway, being able to now get the slipstream toe, whichever term you prefer to use, from him. It's up to Oscar now to stay tight on his bumper, push him along and see what lap times we can squeeze out. That was nice and tight there from Oscar, very promising. He's just got to keep that up now for another 10 minutes. So I'm about to switch to onboard camera view only, and I've got the live timing screen recorded, so I'll be playing that on the screen alongside the race. You'll be able to see what position Oscar's in, and I'm just going to let the whole thing play out. This is a brilliant session. final lap then, P6 at the moment, P8 is our target. Just got to see this one out, and hopefully this will be enough to see us through to the A final. Oh, okay then, so Indy Welsh has decided to jump between us and Ledger, and now we're down to P7. This is getting tight. We don't want to finish outside of the top 8, and now we are P8. Oh my god, this is hard to look. Come on, let's just hope we can... Well, we're not going to finish on a good lap now, clearly, but let's just hope that nobody else behind us or anybody else ahead of us takes P8 from us. Come on. Well, it's out of our hands now. We've just got to keep our fingers and toes crossed that that P8 doesn't turn to a P9. If it does, it's not all over, of course. It depends on the qualifying times from Group A and Group C either side of us, whether we'll be in the top 24 drivers or not come the end of all the qualification rounds. At the very last second of the race, we dropped down into P9 and we've been dumped out of P8 by 8/1000ths of a second by Matteo Erinfricta, whoever you say his name. Still, as frustrating as it is, it's not over yet. P8 was never going to guarantee us a position in the A final anyway, and after this session finished, we received a message from a friend to say that overall, after the first 2 qualifying groups have gone out, we're sitting in P17. We need to finish in the top 24 to make the A final. This means that the time we've just set in this session, we need to compare that to the finishing results of the C group, which is about to go out now, and hope that that keeps us in the top 7. If we finish that group in P8 or below, we're not going to make the A final. Well, the pre-A final, we'll be in the pre-B. So the goal now is to hopefully make the top 7 time-wise in the C final, and I'm going to put the results of that up on the screen for you in just a second.
That was so close. P6 until the last lap. P6 potentially was A final, P9 I'm not too sure. We'll see. You'll have to have 2 bad groups from the other groups. We'll see how it goes. Really good stuff they did at one point. You're P1. Yeah. Do you have any idea where you finished and what happened? No, of course you haven't. At one point in that, you went P1. A couple of laps in, you went P1. You fell down to sort of P5, P6 for most of it. Then you dropped down to P9, P10. Then you went back up to P6. On the last lap, you come down to P9. So P6 might have been an A, depends how the other 2 groups do. But yeah, you've done absolutely epic. Really, really good stuff, dude. Awesome. Getting better, getting better.
So we went back to the car and sat and nervously watched the live timing of the Group C qualifying session. This is the last lap and a bit. We've just got to hope that a 56.327 is enough to keep us right where the arrow's pointing there in P7, which we currently are. So it's going to come down to the last lap in this session again. Is there anybody here capable of beating us, of beating our time? It's hard to look. The stress was immense. Are we going to make our first A final? Or are we again, as we did in our own qualifying group, going to lose it on the final lap? Well, we've got just over 30 seconds until you find out. Well, it's starting to feel like it's not meant to happen now, isn't it? Last lap again, this time by 1/10 of a second, puts us 1 position out of making the A finals. So we're off to the pre-B final. That gives us another chance of making the A final. but we need to finish P1 or P2 to be promoted. Let's get into it. It is sandwich time. We came prepared with Dad's barbecue and grill chopping board off Tyler. Thank you, Tyler. Not you, you're Oscar. Thank God for the delete button on editing, because I'm on my umpteenth time now of trying to explain how these pre-finals work and trying to make it make clear sense. So here we go. I'll try again. We have a pre-A, a pre-B and a pre-C final. So overall, after the 3 qualifying groups had finished, we finished in P24. I presume we were P25 that had missed the pre-A finals by 1 position, but it turns out somebody must have had a penalty along the way. We finished in P24 total, and the pre-A final is consisting of 22 races, not 24. We then have the pre-B final consisting of 24 races, and the pre-C final consisting of 32. So the way this works, the pre-C final will be going out first. The top 2 of that will join the back of the B final. The pre-B final will be going out second. The top 2 of that will join the back of the A final. And the pre-A final will go out, and everybody that's there will then finish wherever they'll be starting in the A final. So the A final then will consist of 24 races, including the 2 that have been promoted up from the pre-B final. The B final will consist of 26 races, including the 2 that have been promoted from the C final. But then you'll be losing 2, so no, the pre-B final, will still consist of 24 races. And then we'll have the C final, which should consist of, I believe, 28 races. Something like that anyway. It'll all make sense. But what's most important to us, obviously, is the pre-B final here. We're starting in P2, and of course the top 2, as I've explained, get promoted, so we need to finish in the top 2. We would take top 2 right now, P2, snap somebody's hand off for it, because we just want to finally make an A final. We've just missed out on it by a hair's width on the last lap on the on our own qualifying group, and then on the C qualifying group. So yeah, we need a bit of a break here in luck. So we've had a chat with Matteo Ehrenfruchter, Leo Edger and Ledger Demetriou, the ones in front and behind us. We're hoping, it's race tactics, isn't it? So we're hoping that the 4 of us will be able to break away, or the top 3, or even Oscar and Matteo, and create a bit of a gap behind us while there's a lot of battling and chaos going on. Hopefully we can stretch some sort of a lead that can then hopefully see us into the later parts of the race before we start battling for podium or for promotion contention. But looking behind us, we've got some serious talent. We've got Stefan Schiffern just there in P5. And he is no joke. He's a seriously fast contender. We've got Oscar Mahoviak, who we know is very good. He's a good friend of ours in P9. And if you look back down in 21 there, you've got Joshua Robinson. And he, of course, is absolutely rapid. And even from that position, he still is a serious threat. So let's just hope we can get through this in one piece and come out of it claiming an A final position. Fingers crossed. Can we get one of these today? We're right on the edge of it, so close. If Oscar finishes P2 in the pre-final, he'll qualify through to the A final. If he finishes P3 in the pre-B final, he'll be starting P1 in the B final, because the top 2 people will be out of his way then into the A final. So there's a lot to play for here. We just got to hope that he can hold on to P2, because he's starting on the outside, so anything can happen. I'm going to have a talk with the other 2, P1 and P2, see if they'll work with him. Right, and we're just going out for the pre-B final. Oscar's starting in P2. We're going to work with the guy ahead, and we're also going to work with the guy behind. So whoever they come out of turns 1 and 2, they're just going to sort of slot in together and drive together, and hopefully the top 3, can pull away and then fight it out later on if they're all still together. Top 2 go through to the A final. P3 will be starting first in the B final, so
We want the A final, but we'll take with both hands, if you know what I mean. P1 in the B final, chance of silverware. That'd be awesome. Right then, Oscar coming out P2 for the pre-B final. I haven't said it to him, but I am super nervous. We've had a talk with Matteo and Preta in front of us. They're going to work together, and so is Ledger, behind us. And then I think he's had a spot to it at P4 as well. Now Oscar will be starting on the right hand side of the tram lines, which is the inside for turns 1 and 2, so he could potentially take the lead. It depends on the speed that P1 goes off at Matteo, but we'll see. Either way, they're going to slot in and then try and work together.
Okay, if we get please connect, thank you very much. I've asked 3 of you to go to the scouts. Make your way back across the scouts, guys, and then everyone else can make their way back into the paddock before we move on to our pre-A final for connect.
Yeah, my nerves were absolutely shredded. It's the highest start Oscar's had in a Club 100 grid, and I just wanted him to get round the first few turns and around Christmas corner, at least holding his position. Of course, there's a lot of pressure here to finish in the top 2 and to try and make it through to the A final. But even a P3 here, okay, you don't get a podium spot for a pre-final, but a P3 is still a great achievement in any race. But as you can see, he's held on to it, and there's a little bit of a gap behind him, so he hasn't got to worry about defending. Let's see if we can pull a lead and secure our position in the A final. And this is Stefan Schiffan behind us. I did mention before the race begun that he is rapid. So Oscar's got a real battle on his hands now trying to keep Stefan at bay. And Stefan made that look so easy, but in truth, it's probably best he just went past us like that we didn't have to spend the rest of the race defending against him, because the train had just tightened up and we'd risk losing more positions. So now it's just a case of, can we work with Stefan and can we try and catch back up onto the race leader? We're still in this, it's not over yet. You see Oscar take a quick peek over his shoulder there. He's definitely feeling the pressure now from P4 behind him. Just got to keep a strong head on his shoulders here, keep marching forwards. P3 is not a disaster. As I said, it's a good race finish. But if we were to slip back to P4, P5, that's not going to do us any good for the following B final, if that is the case. Yeah, as you can hear, the nerves are really starting to get the best of me out there. I'm just holding on tight now, keeping my fingers and toes crossed that Oscar can hold on to P3. This will give him a P1 pole start in the B final. We've got to admit now, with just under 3 minutes to go, that P1 and P2 in this race are out of sight. So a great result of P3 is, and if we can start the B final in pole position with the way Oscar's driving at the moment, that gives him a very good chance, very realistic possibility that we should be leaving the event today with some silverware. It'll be a shame to have missed the A final, especially having came so close twice in the qualification rounds, but it's still another step forwards. So let's see what happens. Come on, Oscar. Quick shout out to the driver behind us in P4. He started in P7, that's Jensen Rudd, and he's basically made sure Oscar's had to stay sharp throughout this race, so fair play to him. But we've just got to close it out now and ensure that we finish P3 and not let him past. Cheers, Jensen. Pressure you're putting on Oscar there is really helping my heart rate. But no, it's good watch. This is good race, and so far solid defending from Oscar. Whew!
Good work in your favour, mate. Good.
And joining the battle now over P3 is Oscar Mahaviak, who's putting some serious pressure on Jensen Rudd. This should hopefully, which you just heard me praying for, give Oscar a bit of a chance here, a bit of a break from the pressure and give him a chance to put a little bit of a lead coming up towards the last lap now. I can barely watch, even though I know the outcome. It's still a hard watch.
Good work on your favour, mate. It's good.
And joining the battle now over P3 is Oscar Mahaviak, who's putting some serious pressure on Jensen Rudd. This should hopefully, which you just heard me praying for, give Oscar a bit of a chance here, a bit of a break from the pressure and give him a chance to put a little bit of a lead coming up towards the last lap now. I can barely watch, even though I know the outcome. It's still a hard watch. Oscar Mahoviak's about to do us a massive favour just now. There we go. And that gives us a nice comfortable lead to lead out the last part of the track with. Oh, I can relax now. Felt so good trackside seeing Oscar get this bit of space at the end there, because the pressure that Jensen had been putting on us throughout the last sort of third of that race until Oscar got involved. You know, there was every chance Oscar might not have took the P3 here. So he's done it. Shame that we're not going to be getting a trophy for that one. But we've got every chance to get a trophy now, starting P1 in the B final. So looking at the finishing positions from the pre-B final, we see that Ledger Demetriou finished bottom of the pack. He only completed one lap. We're not too sure what happened there, but probably worked in our favour because he's rapid and he would have been a major threat to us taking that P3. We can look at Oscar Mahoviak finishing P5. So going into the B final now, we've got Jensen, Rudd, and then Oscar Mahoviak right behind us. That's not going to be an easy, situation to try and keep them two at bay. A little bit down, Leo Edger, we know he's fast, and then starting in P8. Joshua Robinson, so we see him as the biggest threat here. And let's just hope he gets a bad kart, because it's going to be very difficult for Oscar to hold him back if he can break through the races ahead and get onto Oscar's tail. Otherwise, looking through the rest of the pack, of course, it's a strong field. So, there's nobody that can be underestimated. There's going to be one or two karts that are going to have a 10th here or there. So it's going to be interesting. I'm not going to hide this. My nerves were absolutely shot to pieces, and I've never seen Oscar leading out a race, so I'm not too sure how he's going to handle, the starting section. When does he accelerate? When does he go? It's not something we've got any experience in, so in all honesty, I'm expecting him to lose at least maybe one or two positions over the first couple of turns if he doesn't get off the line, quick enough. So yeah, these are nervous times, but I'm going to try and keep my eyes open and watch the start of the race and then see if I can settle into it. Let's go.
I'm right behind you. That was brilliant, mate. Really good. The pressure that they had on you through the whole race to hold your nerve, really, really good. I know you dropped a spot, but you're P1 there for the B final. Now you got your chance. All you got to do now is do the same again, and you got yourself some silverware. Keep what?
I think I'm going to stay on.
Oh, you got to weigh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, your weight's fine. You're 65 kilo.
I have to. I have to.
Yeah, you have to weigh. Yes, a weigh in. Yeah, you know your weight's good. You're 5 kilo over. So we've just stepped out of the pits, weighed in. That's the pre-final over. Oscar's starting P1 in the B. All right. It's Charlie Francis' mum, and look at that. It looks like it's going to absolutely hammer it down on us for the final. Do you want it to rain in the final? No. We're starting pole, and all Oscar's got to do is repeat what he's just done, and we're going home with silverware, so we don't want rain. It's not in our hands though, is it? We'll see. Right, we're now like 2 minutes later. We're just walking across the car park. It's raining. Yeah, just have a look on the bonnet of this car. You'll see it's coming down. So it's going to be a wet final race, I'm afraid. We'll see. We're all right. It's not raining. It's snowing or hailing. The gods have answered. Brilliant pre-B final there from Oscar. He dropped a position from P2 to P3, but absolutely brilliant the way he handled the pressure behind him all the way throughout. I think the one who took over him and finished P2 overall, what was his name again? Stefan Schiffan. I think he come from quite far back on the grid. I'm not too sure. We'll have to check it out. But he definitely started at least at least two places anyway behind Oscar. He was absolutely flying in that session. The qualifiers, you know what I mean, when somebody suddenly is quicker in another session, it's probably down to the karts. I don't think Oscar's kart in that session was great. He didn't have one of the quickest times, but done really well under the pressure, and so we're starting P1 in the B final and bring it on. But look at this. Just gotta hope this is a quick passing storm. It's not great. It'd be nice if the tractor dried up again by the time Oscar gets out there for the final. You know, I think we got lucky. Looking at that now, it's all past and what's coming looks lovely. Back to sunshine, and hopefully this will dry up now before Oscar's race. We've got a few to go yet, so might get lucky. We'll see. Right, absolutely no pressure on us. We're leading the way in the B final. So this is a first moment for Oscar. If he can repeat what he's just done in the pre-final, he's going to get himself a trophy. And that has to be the goal now. So, exciting times.
The people can't go in front of him till he crosses that line, then it's penalty.
So, here we go then. The B final. Oscar starts in P1.
The guy talking just then next to me was absolutely right. Nobody's allowed to pass Oscar until he's past the start line. Doesn't help my nerves though. I'm an absolute wreck. Oscar's never led a race out before at Club 100, so new territory here. Let's just hope he can hold his nerve and get off to a good start.
Make your way back down to the scales. Everyone needs to get weight. Some of you need to get there quicker than others to get back here for this next race at Muncie.
Right, they've talked about working together with P2 and P3. Just hoping that Oscar doesn't get caught out on the start. They don't jump him, because Oscar hasn't started a race before. And where really are you supposed to start accelerating? We just don't know. Not get shunted out into the grass. Here we go. He's made it through. Works with you as he's promised to do. And look at the lead you've got already.
8 minutes to go and I feel like we've already watched 10. God, this was a stressful watch. I'm now also seeing this back marker coming up, and I know that if that goes wrong, anything can happen. This race could be totally thrown up in the air. Fingers crossed we can make it past cleanly.
This back marker better get out of the way.
It's Oscar Mohaviak and Leo Edger who are behind us, keeping the pressure on, and then back in P9 is Joshua Robinson.
They're fighting behind the Duco. Got a massive lead now. You don't need this one slowing you down. You should get a blue flag. Is he having a flag wave? Because you don't want to lose that gap. Right, now go. This is yours, dude. It's all on you now. The two of you have a massive lead, so nothing silly.
In just a few seconds, my phone's going to stop recording. No reason whatsoever. It done it 3 times. Third time, it actually completely powered itself down. It's incredibly frustrating because we don't have any onboard footage since new Club 100 rules don't allow us to record the trophy finals. This is all due to some parents last season complaining using their trackside footage to try and get decisions, overturned or made against other drivers. Really frustrating.
I don't know how long my camera stopped recording for then. See it stopped, so I don't think I missed anything. It stopped all on its own. Oscar's still P1. Under pressure.
3 minutes for Oscar to defend for his life, while trackside I'm standing there getting bolder and bolder by the second. So unfortunately, Oscar's been forced into defending. This car just hasn't quite got the pace. You need to go down to P16 in the final standings before you see somebody that's got a slower time than what Oscar's got in this kart. Yeah, we know the boy behind us, the one in the blue now, wanted to work with us to try and pull away from the pack. But unfortunately in this kart, Oscar just couldn't do that. Otherwise he'd have gone sailing past us if Oscar stuck to the racing line. And as you can see now, he raises his hand there. He's not happy that Oscar's been defending. But sometimes, you know, races can't go to plan. Unfortunately, that's just racing.
Strong, dude. You gotta be strong. That's it. Excellent. 1 minute 10 left.
Here we go then, final lap, and no word of a lie, my heart is in the pit of my stomach and I am cacking myself stood there trackside filming on. But there's nothing I can do. I've got to trust in Oscar, that his ability, his determination, his heart will get him through this final lap. But I just know with him lacking pace throughout this session that that kart behind is going to be on him in absolutely no time. So looking back through today's event, Oscar's put in a hell of a lot of effort and he deserves this. He deserves P1 in this final. We've just missed out on qualification through to the A final 3 times, and we do not want to be going home now with that gut feeling of just missing out on taking a P1 trophy, our first ever piece of Club 100 silverware. We don't want to be going home with P2 or P3, you know, or potentially not even in the top 3 if everything goes wrong. So I've got to keep my head together here. I've got to trust in Oscar that he can get round this last lap. Whew. And pray to the karting gods. Here we go. So yeah, it was the same old last lap nightmare for Oscar today. But to be honest with you, what an absolute achievement to take home P2. You know, in a race of this calibre, is absolutely fantastic. It's the best we've managed so far. And you've only got to look at the boy behind, how upset he is, because Oscar defended throughout the race, but Oscar had to race the race that he had to race with the kart that he was sat in. And looking back, really proud on him. He's done absolutely brilliant, but there may still be a twist to come. Keep watching.
Well done, dude. Absolutely epic. Not the P1 we wanted. But I tell you what, mate, you really have stepped it up today. I couldn't be any prouder. It's lovely to film now and got the cake. Really, really impressive, mate. Give yourself your first Club 100 trophy. Oh, come and see you then. No worries. Okay.
So the guy who won the cadet is in the A final, the B guy. So I thought I'd let you know.
Yeah, he's just told me. Edgar Azevedo's just said Oscar now moves into the A. You were right. Congratulations. I've got to shake your hand on that. Okay, cheers. You're not going anywhere yet. You're in the A final now. Top two go through. I didn't realise. I thought it was just the pre-finals that gives you passage to the A's. Oh. How do you feel about that then? Happy with that, yeah? That was an absolutely brilliant performance. Shame you lost it on the last lap.
It's a B final. We could have both made it through.
Where did you finish? 3?
Yes. Like, if you hadn't defended and we had just worked together, we could have both made it through.
You got to weigh in, have you now? Oh, he's upset, isn't he? Oh, I didn't actually realise you went through on that. He gets a podium now. It's a brilliant result. Absolutely brilliant for both of you, really, all of you. Just speaking to Edgar Azevedo, and he just told me, are you through to the A final? I didn't realise. Oh, I see you look up at the skies when after he got past you on the last lap. But I tell you what, mate, I'd have took that at the start, would you? P2 in the B final. Of course you would have done. Oh. I can relax now. A final is just going to be a bit of fun now, isn't it? Let's go out there and see if you can climb up the grid. No pressure on you now. But that podium's still there. Still got to go for it.
But there was still another twist to come. The day wasn't done just yet. Not only had we made the A final, which was a bit of a shock as I was coming off the track side and finding out, but the boy who finished ahead of Oscar, which was Leo Edger, managed to pick himself up a one position penalty for hands off steering wheel. That promoted Oscar back into P1, so we've actually won the B final. And not only is this just a win, it's also a new experience for us, as Oscar's never led out a Club 100 race before, so he'll gain in confidence from that. Also, he was in a not-so-fast kart, so that meant that he had to defend from early on in the race. And it's also a good learning curve for the boy behind us, Henry, who next time will know if the kart ahead of you is going too slow, especially early in a race. You've got to attack hard and you've got to find a way past. There was a way past Oscar, as Leo Edger managed to prove on the last lap once he got onto Oscar's tail. But all in all, absolutely fantastic race. All 3 boys who finished on the podium definitely deserved to be up there. And we now move on to the A final. Bit of a rush here. We got to jump straight into the kart and go again.
Right then, we start in last but one in the A final now. Bonus race. Bit of fun for Oscar. Carve his way up the grid. Okay, dude, enjoy it. No crashing. Right, bonus race here. Oscar's starting second from last in the A final. A final, first time saying that. No pressure. I think we got 3 warm-up laps and then I'll get going. So there he is for winning the B final. Okay, I'll let them do the warm-up laps and then I'll come back to it at the race start. Right, here we go then, the A final. Regardless of where he finishes in this is just
We lasted 19 seconds. Oscar came off track and said there were just karts everywhere ahead of him and he had no choice but to go onto the grass or to hit somebody. It's, of course, incredibly hard to tell from this angle, and I really do wish that we had onboard footage because that would tell a clear picture. But as you can see here, there are karts up to 4 wide, karts facing backwards, karts going across the grass, and Oscar had to react quick and early, you know, to avoid any sort of damage to the kart, and that's what it's resulted in. It's resulted in us being out of the race and the only person that's had to get out of the car and push it back onto the grass. In hindsight, it's easy to say that Oscar should have sat maybe a little bit further back off the pack, so he's got a better opportunity to just drive through any mayhem that happens ahead. But he wants to race, you know, he wants to make up positions in that first lap. And unfortunately, not this time.
Oh well, it was a bit of fun. Just have to move everybody's way now. This. I'll just catch any action if you do end up in a battle with anybody. I'll film that. It's happened in an unimportant race. Contact warning, we've got 50 seconds left.
I love it. He's still going for the photo finish. Brilliant.
Awesome work, dude. What happened? How did you end up on the grass? Pile up. Somebody clipped into you or something? Or?
Yeah.
What, did you have to avoid it and go on the grass? Yeah. Oh well, there's some hot lapping for you. No pressure on you, so at least you've done it in that one when, you know, when it didn't really matter, did it? Because we weren't likely to win that race, obviously. Really good stuff though, dude. Really good stuff. Okay, let's get that off you first. Podium. We don't need to go home. We're staying for a podium. You've got a first place trophy. What did I say to you before the B final? I said that's the car you're going to win the B final in. Then you was quite anti. He was quite. We don't know that, do we? I did. I knew that because I had belief in you, mate. Really, really happy with that, mate. Absolutely epic.
Okay, moving on to our top three then in the junior category B final. Third place today goes to driver number 26, Henry Greenwood. Well done, Henry. Runner up then goes to driver number 57, Leo Edger. But ladies and gentlemen, taking the race win in the B final junior category today, driver number 25, Oscar Mallett.
Don't go anywhere yet. Don't go anywhere yet.
Stay there, boys. Stay there.
Thank you.
Come on, give us a smile.
Big smile.
Come on, juniors.
Thank you very much.
Come on, man. Well done indeed. Another round of applause, please. Let's do it for our top three juniors. We're moving on now to the A finals. Cadet Super Lightweight Southern Championship A final here at Whilton Mill. And yeah, let's just run through the top.
And also, if you're in the West Midlands area, please do have a check on Beach's Property Services. Chris has been a massive support for us, not because he wants advertising, but just simply to help us out. He's done a lot of work for me in the past and it's been A1. Definitely check him out on Facebook, Beach's Property Services. And that brings the video to an end. I hope you've enjoyed it and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.